Though their author died over 200 years ago, Jane Austen's 6 novels regularly trend on the internet, receive accolades for their wit and quality, and serve as the most reliable templates for romantic comedies and tragedies in novels, films, TV shows, and plays. But why? Jane Austen's tales continue to spark conversation and connection, even though the world they were set in has completely vanished, and young, unmarried women now, supposedly, can readily access fiscal independence and workplace equity. What powers such enduring fascination? Her novels, set in the refined world of the English gentry, unpack universal truths about love, self-discovery, and the human heart. Their settings may be Regency England, but her characters' emotions and dilemmas have proved timeless, echoing across generations. For Austen's flawed, witty, and deeply relatable characters invite us to see ourselves in their struggles and triumphs. Digital era humans or not, we recognize our own fears, hopes, and dreams in their journeys, and find comfort in their humor and resilience. The emotional core of her stories, whether of awkward first encounters or the search for meaning and belonging, transcends social and technological change. Her explorations of family, friendship, and the stresses of expectations remain remarkably relevant to modern life. Austen's genius lies in blending romantic idealism with pragmatic realism, making her work both grounded and perennial. She reminds us that love is rarely simple, and that personal growth frequently springs from facing uncomfortable truths. Thus, 2.5 centuries later, we celebrate not only her historical legacy, but a living body of work which continues to find a global audience. Jane Austen's novels demonstrate that if well-crafted fiction truly nails aspects of the human condition, it never goes out of style. Her stories have leapt from the page to every medium of pop culture, defying the boundaries of time and geography. Once read by candlelight in drawing rooms, they now captivate screen audiences in many cultures with their irony, romance, and social commentary. Directors and screenwriters continually find fresh ways to bring her beloved characters and timeless themes to life, whether through faithful adaptations or bold creative reinterpretations that retell her stories in new eras and places, or change the profiles of the novel's key characters. The 1995 BBC series, Pride and Prejudice, became a global sensation, setting a new standard for period dramas and sparking renewed interest in Austen's work. Its iconic scenes and memorable performances are still celebrated by fans decades later. Meanwhile, films like Clueless and Bridget Jones's Diary proved that Austen's plots and characters thrive in any era. These clever adaptations reimagine her stories in contemporary settings, showing just how universal her insights into love, friendship, and society truly are. Today, Austen's characters and quotes enjoy new lives online, reborn in internet memes, merchandise, and collectibles. Jane's sharp observations and memorable quips are shared across social media, connecting fans from all walks of life and sparking new discussions about her work. The Austen fan community is more vibrant than ever. From lively festivals in Bath, where fans dress in Regency attire, to thriving online spaces filled with artwork, fan fiction, and spirited debates about her novels. Her legacy is kept alive by readers who celebrate her annually. New adaptations, like Netflix's Pride and Prejudice, continue to demonstrate her enduring star power. Each new version introduces her work to fresh audiences, proving that Austen's appeal is both timeless and ever-evolving. Thus, Jane Austen has proved to be not just a classic author, but a true pop culture icon whose relevance only grows with each passing year, inspiring admiration across generations. Given that in life, the patriarchal environment of publishing in her time forced her to write anonymously, just how did her work later become indefatigable, and her name ubiquitous? At the heart of Austen's appeal are her heroines, intelligent, witty, profoundly human. Elizabeth Bennet, Emma Woodhouse, and Anne Elliot are not passive figures. They're active agents, learning and growing through their mistakes. Austen's women are defined by their minds and moral strength, not just their marriage prospects. Their journeys of self-discovery and resilience make them timeless role models. As a writer, Austen treated women's everyday concerns, friendship, family, love, with seriousness and respect. Unlike many young women in the literature of her time, Jane's heroines are not hapless damsels waiting to be rescued. They shape their own destinies within the limits of their world. This focus on women's inner lives was revolutionary then, and, despite all the progress made in the realm of women's rights since Austen's day, it remains instructive and engaging now. Jane Austen's novels are as much about the tyranny of economics as they are about romance. In her world, marriage was often a financial necessity for women, not a matter of the heart. The famous opening of Pride and Prejudice sets the tone. Marriage is a social and economic transaction. Forget love. Here comes a story about survival. Her heroines seek both love and security, but are painfully aware that of the two, future financial stability is the far more crucial goal. Austen's stories tackle the complex interplay between affection and potential desperation, a relationship dynamic still relevant today. She championed marriages built on respect, shared values, and practical security, as well as passion. Such a hard-nosed take on love and money has helped her work resonate in every era. In Jane Austen's world, marriage was not just a personal milestone. It was the primary career path available to respectable women. The social season, with its glittering balls and carefully orchestrated gatherings, was more than a time for entertainment. It was a high-stakes marriage market where young women were expected to secure their futures through advantageous matches. A woman's value was often measured by her beauty, her family's social connections, and the size of her dowry. For many, failing to marry well meant facing a precarious and dependent existence, often relying on the charity of relatives, or enduring a life of limited means and few choices. Worst-case scenarios included prostitution or an early, lonely death in abject poverty. Austen masterfully satirized this system, exposed its absurdities and injustices, but also depicted its harsh realities. Characters like Charlotte Lucas, who marries Mr. Collins out of necessity rather than love, reveal the difficult choices women faced when options were severely restricted, living as they did in an age when female property ownership was extremely rare compared to today. Through her novels, Austen highlights the limited choices and immense pressures women endured to secure their futures. The constant anxiety around marriage and security shaped every aspect of their lives, from their education to their social interactions. Today, opportunities for women have expanded dramatically, with careers, education, and independence now within reach for many. Yet debates about how to balance love, career ambitions, societal expectations, and family responsibilities still persist, echoing the dilemmas faced by Austen's heroines. Austen's stories remind us not only of how far women have come, but also of the enduring nature of some challenges. The struggle to define one's own path, to balance personal desires with external pressures, remains relevant across generations. Hence her work stands as both a sharp critique of her own time and a mirror reflecting the ongoing conversations about women's roles in relationships and society today. Austen's novels may focus on love and domestic life, but they're also rich with subtle social critique. She lived through times of upheaval, war, industrialization, and debates over slavery, and wove these realities quietly into her stories. The rise of self-made men, the decline of the old aristocracy, and the moral ambiguities associated with wealth are all present in her work. In Mansfield Park, a brief mention of the slave trade speaks volumes about the era's uncomfortable truths. Austen's sharp observations expose hypocrisy and injustice, all through the intimate lens of her characters' lives. Her social commentary is powerful precisely because it's so understated, revealing the elephants in the room. Alongside those several timeless themes, Jane Austen's storytelling skills themselves are part of the reason for her immortality. Center stage is her legendary wit. Her novels sparkle with irony and humor that still delights readers. She masterfully mocks the follies of her characters and society, but always with warmth and understanding. Her dialogue is sharp, her prose precise, and her use of free indirect discourse gives us direct access to her characters' minds. Comic figures like Mr. Collins and Sir Walter Elliot are unforgettable, their personalities revealed in just a few lines. Austen's writing balances humor with deep emotional insight, making her stories both entertaining and profound. She shows that life's serious challenges can be met with both wisdom and laughter. This unique voice is another major factor in why her novels remain endlessly rereadable and beloved. Even though England's Prince Regent was among her fans, Jane Austen was not famous in her lifetime. Her books were published not bearing her name, but the words, "by a lady," and she lived quietly in rural England. Her rise to literary stardom was gradual, fueled by a carefully crafted memoir and growing academic interest. The term Janeite emerged as her fanbase grew, and film adaptations in the late 20th century made her a global phenomenon. Today, Austen is an icon, her face on currency, her name a brand, her work a literary cornerstone. Her legacy has been shaped by generations, and over time, claimed by many diverse perspectives, from women in patriarchal Asian cultures and Western feminists, to academic social theory analysts, and even far-right white supremacy conservatives. Austen's complexity and insight maintain her legend, more than 2 centuries on. Far from being mere Regency-era soap operas, Jane's 6 novels tap into the human search for happiness, connection, and self-knowledge, within a world of strict conventions. Her pithy explorations of money, gender, and societal pressures continue to raise personal issues despite our alleged progress, offering both historical perspectives and modern insights. This relationship, she entices us to ask, is it really for love, money, or both? And can that work? Do you have a favorite Austen novel or screen adaptation? Please tell us in the comments below. And don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to help keep world literature alive. Jane Austen was a trailblazer in Georgian and Regency literature, but the Victorian era that followed produced an even more innovative lady, whose very different style awaits you in episode 25.